haven't gone live on Instagram yet. However, I need to do my sharing thing. So if you, oh, there I am. So if you are watching um, in the replay, first of all, please type replay so I know where you're coming from. But let me just share this on a couple pages real quick because um, the studio that I use, it sends this out to every channel individually, and so my watches are all scattered, and so I don't like that. So I'm just going to share. So if you are watching and you are wondering why I'm not talking yet, that's why. And yesterday was my birthday, so I'm still in birthday energy. So I have the audacity, being the audacity expert that I am, I have the audacity to take some time right now to do this sharing thing until I figure out these watches. I don't like that. I don't like looking on one channel and it's like 150, on another channel is 62, and on another channel is 300. I don't like that. I don't like that. So I'm gonna do what I do best and try to control it. Right. So how are y'all though? How are y'all while I do this sharing thing? Hmm? Did y'all have a birthday yesterday too? Or am I the only one who turned 50? I had a birthday. I had a birthday. And while I'm talking, I can't even concentrate. So let me just do this real quick. So I have to go back to my page. There I am. There I am. There I am. Okay. That page. Put in the title. Hit share now. Hey, 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 hey. Then that one. And then after this, I'm done. Today's going to be good. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. Go live on Instagreasy for Sheezy. I am now live. Okay, let's go. So I had a birthday yesterday. Did I say that already? I had a birthday yesterday. And one thing that, we always talk about, like you hear the quotes that birthday energy is really the energy where you're taking your trip around the sun and you're really supposed to reconnect to your why. Why are you here? Why were you sent? Right? What is it that we're supposed to be doing? There's a quote that says, the two most important days of your life are the day that you were born and then the day that you find out why you were born. And so birthday energy is like, not only are you celebrating the fact that you were born, but you also should be celebrating the fact that you know why you are born, or that you are on the quest to find why you were born. And you should celebrate that, because a lot of people give up before they finish their quest, right? And then they end up doing things that maybe they weren't intended to do. But birthday energy is like, okay, girl, why were you born? I'm trying to pull up my chat because hey, Mike Tatum, thank you for my belated birthday. Hey, 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 we need to talk. All right, for real, we need to talk. So, like, when you have some time, let me know when I can call you. I got my chat pulled up on my phone and she talking. She is me. So y'all, hold on, I'm gonna set my phone up real quick so I can see it over there. Okay, so again, so birthday energy is like not only celebrating your birthday, and I try to steal my kids' birthdays too, because I'd be like, I had y'all and I gave birth, so that's my birthday too. So I have 3 birthdays because I'm greedy. But when you take that trip around the sun, it's, again, the 2 most important days are why, when you're celebrating the fact that you were born, but you're also celebrating the fact that you know why you were born. And so I was thinking about today and what I was going to talk about. And of course, I was flipping through my psychological dictionary, which means I came up with a whole bunch of great topics. But I was like, nope, I'm going to stick with what I said last week, which was, I said last week that I was going to talk about something about taking that trip around the sun and owning the energy of the why, right? Why? And so that made me do some lookups. I put out my 2 favorite dictionaries, like the APA dictionary, and I ain't been getting along lately because it hasn't really been having stuff in it that I can grasp. but I also put out my American Heritage Dictionary. And let me just tell y'all real quick. So this dictionary I have had since high school, but the reason I still have it is because of my mother. My mother had the dictionary, and I saw it at her house one day, and I was like, that is mine. And she was like, no, that's mine. And then she had the nerve to put in here property of Diana Bond. So under it, I put um that I was the original owner. I wanted my dictionary back. Like, this is my dictionary. So this is my dictionary from high school, y'all. So that became my favorite. But I love to also look things up on the internet because a lot of times people will add their metaphysical beliefs to a word. And I just love the definitions because I feel like it puts us all on the same page. And so let's look up the definition of the words and then we're going to go in. We're going to go in because today is going to be good. It's not just about knowing and celebrating that you were born, but you're also celebrating that you know why you were born. And when you know a why behind something, I'm jumping ahead. Let me just get to the definition. But when you know the why, when you know why something was created, then you can use it. You ever seen something, you walk in the store, you pick up something off the shelf, and it's like, what is this? Like, if we didn't know this was an AirPod case, right? And we just saw this sitting there, be like, what's that? What am I supposed to do with that? I don't know what that is. These ain't even my AirPods. These are my daughter's AirPods, y'all. I borrow them every week now. Every week, I'd be like, can I borrow your AirPods? And I promise you give me a dirty look every week, like, mm-hmm. That's because my MacBook won't let me use my earphones that came with the iPhone because it don't have a little connection and I can't find the little connecting thing. So the only thing that works when I'm on the studio are wireless headphones and my other wireless ones don't work that well. So I borrow hers. Hey Marvin Gary. So I just borrow hers. Hey George. Um, so yeah, anyway. So, but what if we pick this up, right? And we see this, we don't know what this is, right? It's just a box. And then we open it up and it has like these weird holes. We don't know what it is. So until we know the why of what it is, first of all, we have to know the what of what it is. And we know that we are human beings having we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So um we have to be able to break that down, right? So, hey, so we know what it is, but now we need to know the why. Why do we need this thing? When we look at ourselves and our lives, we know the what, we know the who, but we need to know the why to be productive and to be able to have these great lives and to be able to have the type of life that we've been dreaming about, right? We dream about us being these magnificent beings on earth. We dream about us having these big lives. But if we don't know the why, then we can't even paint the picture of how we get there. So, definition time. Definition time. Why? For what reason or purpose or cause? For what reason, purpose, or cause? Thank you for my hearts. For what intention, justification, or motive? Thank you. Welcome to 50, right? Thank you. Sorry, Instagram. Somebody said happy belated birthday. Yesterday was my birthday. Hey, hey. And I'm all in this trip around the sun, celebrating the fact that I was born and the reason why. And I'm doing it right now. Like this right now, what I'm doing right now is part of the reason I was born. So y'all see my glow? I'm glowing because I'm just so excited. Like, this is my favorite time of the year because it's my birthday. Okay, so why? For what intention, justification, or motive? I like that word, motive. The cause or intention that underlies a given action or situation, right? So your why is the underlying cause or intention behind an action or a situation. If I know my why, then I could take the appropriate action to get to where I need to be. If I don't know my why, then every action is appropriate. And if they're all conflicting actions, then none of them are right, right? If I know my why, then I'm going to plan my steps, right? I'm going to set my goals. I'm going to do the actions that pertain to the goals. If I set goals and they're all over the place, then I'm not really getting anywhere. Like, if my dream is to be an actor and I say, okay, I'm going to, but I don't recognize that, right? So I just wake up and I just start setting these goals that are just all over the place. Then I may get up one day and I may say, okay, well, I'm going to practice rehearsing on some lines. Then the next day I may say, oh, let me write a book. And then the next day I may say, oh, let me go to the daycare and babysit some kids. Am I becoming an actor? No, because I haven't set specific goals, right? In order to be that thing, we have to know what it is so that we can set specific goals. When I used to work in the schools, I used to work as a substitute and also as a co-teacher. And when the kids got in trouble, I worked with a lot of the special ed kids, and I don't believe in excuses. You may have a disability, right? I have a disability, right? According to the military. Um, but that doesn't give you an excuse not to live your life in a manner that's going to get you to where you need to be, right? So I would work with these kids and they would get in trouble, and they were so used to being verbally beaten down and just told that they weren't good enough by their teachers, probably parents, and everybody. And so when they would act up, I would make them go in the hall, and then I would go in the hall with them, and they would be you could tell they were ready and waiting. I'm gonna answer that in a second, Cliff. So they would be ready and waiting for me to come against them and say something negative, right? And I would say my first question would be, instead of "why'd you do it" or "what are you doing," I would say, "what do you want to be when you grow up?" What? Like, what? What are you asking me that for? Like, I just got in trouble. Like, they weren't ready for that. But what do you want to be when you grow up? They would tell me. So let's say they said a doctor. So my follow-up would be, okay, so then what are you doing right now today to make that dream come true? Because if you're not planning your steps right now today to make that particular and specific dream come true, then there's no guarantee that you're going to get there. You can't wait until you get to medical school to then do the things that you need to do to be a doctor. You can't wait until you get in the studio to understand how to drop your bars or how music is supposed to play a part in what it is that you want to do, right? You have to start practicing that today. A lot of people who became famous for what they do, they started that the day they knew that that's what they wanted to do. You have these little boys who say they want to be a famous basketball player. They don't wait until they get to high school when the scouts are in the stands to start um, playing basketball or practicing or getting good at what they do. They start at pee-wee level. They started little kids. So what is it that you want to do right now today? Because remember, the definition of why is to have the cause or intention or the underlying well, let me read it right. The cause or intention that underlies a given action or situation. Once I know what I want to do, then when I set my goals are going to line up with the underlying action or intention. So intention, let's look that word up. I didn't forget about you, Cliff, if you're still there. Intention, a plan of action, a design, an aim that guides action or an object. Intent. So intention is a plan of action. So what is your intention? What is your plan of action? What is your goal? What is your aim? How are you going to get there? You can have a why. I'm setting the goal. Hey, Miss Shirley, I'm setting a goal. I know what it is that I want. So now the cause or intention that underlines that is going to be my why. So what is my intention? Though my intention is the actual plan of action, the plan, the thing that I'm going to do. It's the state of mind. The intent is the state of mind operative at the time of an action. What is my intent? Hey, Thaddeus. It's the state of mind that's operative at the time of action. And if I say I'm going to intend, that means to have it in mind and to plan, right? So now let's put all this together. I know who I am, hopefully, and the who I am is actually tied into the why. So I can say I know who I am, but again, birthday energy, right? I'm in my birthday energy. I have to celebrate the day that I was born, but I also have to celebrate that I know why I was born, right? Those are my celebrations on this day or my yesterday or in my birthday energy, right? So when we take our new trip around the sun, we're celebrating the fact that we were born, but we also celebrating the fact that we know why we were born. We're moving toward our goals. We're moving toward our intention. We're moving toward the reason for us being here. Why am I breathing air on this earth? And why did God see fit to keep me here another year? Hey, Diamond Queen, right? Why did the universe say you need to be there another year? What is my why? My why is the underlying cause or action behind what it is I'm intended to do. Intent, a plan of action, a design, an aim that guides the action. My state of mind that's operative at the time of the action. To intend is to have that thing in mind, right? To plan. And what I highlighted, or well, I just put an asterisk by it, but because I took these notes right before I came on, to design for a specific purpose, to design for a specific purpose. When you design your life, when you design your day, when you set your goals, you are doing them for a specified thing, right? Again, if I wake up and I want to be a basketball player, but I get up and I'm writing books, I'm singing songs, I'm watching TV all day, but I'm not practicing toward that specific thing, then I'm not going to be what I need to be when the scouts come looking. And then if I'm upset because no one picked me, well, that's why they didn't pick you. Were you practicing? So like a lot of people tell me when they hear me speak, they're like, okay, first of all, you do this with no notes, right? or these like little, I take, these are my definitions. But most of this is coming off the top of my head. They're like, oh, well, how can you do that? I've been doing this since I was a little kid. People have been asking me these type of questions since I was a little kid. I've been practicing since I was a little kid for this. Why? Because I knew at a young age that I was supposed to talk for a living. I tell people all the time when they ask me a question, it's like, okay, I was born to talk for a living, but you weren't born to listen for a living. So, like, be careful before you ask me too many questions, because I can keep talking, right? So what is my intention behind this thing? What are the goals that I'm setting to get me there? My birthday energy was I'm celebrating the fact that I was born, but I'm also celebrating the why I was born. And if we're just having birthday after birthday after birthday and we're not putting ourselves in position to celebrate the why, then I won't say we're living in vain, but we're kind of living in vain, right? AirPods hurt. We need to understand what it is we were intended to do so that we can have some aim on this thing, so we can have some aim in this day. So our goals can have some aim, right? We need to know our why so we can understand the underlying intention of a given action. Why were we born? Why did the universe have us in mind to go and spit us into the world? What is it that we are supposed to do? If we wake up every day and say, I have a why, then we'll be moving ourselves towards something. The kids that I always stopped and I asked them that question, I still have kids that will find me, and they're grown now, I guess. They will find me on Instagram or Facebook and send me messages. I see them sometimes in the grocery store. I see their parents in the grocery store. These are kids, some of these kids I had one time as a substitute, and they still say that I was their favorite teacher. Why? Because I tapped into the psyche of who they are as opposed to what they were showing the world they were. That's not who you are. Those are your actions, but let's change your actions. And how can I convince you to change your actions if I haven't told you why you need to change them? I can't fuss at you and yell at you and say your behavior is wrong without giving you the right. And it's not right because I need you to act a certain way. It's right because your why, your purpose, your intention, your reason for being on this earth needs you to act a certain way. It's demanding that you act a certain way. And if no one ever mentors and models that for you, if no one ever tells you how to find that for yourself, then you're always going to wake up every day and have the wrong aim, the wrong goals, the wrong direction. And it's going to be moving you towards something, but it may not be the thing that is intended for you. Intention, to have in mind, to plan. If I wake up every day knowing I want to be a writer, I want to be a speaker, then my intention is I need to understand the way words work. I love the dictionary, right? I need to understand the way the mind works. Some people hate to talk to me because I'm nosy. I'm all up in their mind. I'm all up in the whys, right? I'm all up in the, well, what fors? What are you here for? What are we doing? Well, to know everything doesn't have to be that deep. Everything has to be that deep. It doesn't have to be, but it has to be. It don't need to be, but it needs to be. Because in everything that we do, we should be moving toward something. We should have an aim, intention. So Cliff, I don't know if he's still here, but Cliff is watching on Periscope. So if you're watching right now, you see low numbers where you are, just know and understand that this is I'm watching on I'm speaking on so many different platforms. So the questions, if you can't see the question from where you're watching, people are posting questions and I see them all in my one studio, but they're watching on different platforms. So Cliff asked me, "Do you believe that you have control over your life?" I love that question. The answer is absolutely positively yes. Also no, but the yes wins. We have control over our lives, but we see control because we don't operate in the fact that we have control over our lives. We don't demand that we have control over our lives. And so we allow outside forces to have control over our lives. We have people who have no business having control over our lives because they should have control over their life, right? So we have people we've given that control to, and we don't own it. We don't keep it. We don't take it. So yes, do I believe that we have control? We have control over our lives, and the way we operate in that control is just by what we're talking about today. You have to understand who you are. And I do this talk a lot. This is like one of my signature talks. You have to know who you are, you have to know where you are, and you have to know why you are. I'm gonna break them down real quick because I do this talk all the time. I won't belabor, and I probably will because I talk a lot, but I'm gonna try not to belabor it. But you have to know who you are. Who are you, and why do you believe that about yourself? Why were you born? Right? So when you know the why you were born, that speaks to your who. But it also you have to look at your life, and you have to look at all of the um all of the hey Robert, you have to look at all of the people and situations and events that played a part in making you and shaping you into who you are. So who are you? I could describe myself in myriad ways, and they'll all be true. Every way I describe myself will be true, but they don't all coexist together, right? So I can say I'm Tanoa, I'm a girl from the projects of Chicago. It's true. It's not true today. I'm not still in the projects, but I am from the projects. So it's still true. I can say I'm a Chicagoan. It's true. I am a Chicagoan, but I live in Texas, right? I come from a single parent household. True. So all of these things can describe me and they all make up my who. Who are you and why do you believe that about yourself? Does your past paint the, the picture of your now? It can, and it definitely has some paint. One of my favorite psychologists to speak of is now I'm gonna forget his name. Lord, Carl Jung. And he says that you have to be both the artist and the spectator. You have to know that your life and your past, your present, your now, everything is painted the picture of who you are. But then you have to step outside of that painting and look at your life and be the spectator and understand and be able to judge, and not in a way that you're not judging where you're bringing yourself down, but you have to be able to judge that every motive and motion so that you can say, okay, I made some steps that didn't necessarily line up with my goals, but now I'm just going to redirect that and change that, right? So I have to know my why, but I have to know my who. So who am I? Who am I? What shaped me? What made me? What created me? Why am I the person that I am today? And why do those factors matter? You have to know where you are. So when we talk about where, I froze on Instagram. Okay, there we go. So when we talk about the where is physical, but where is also metaphysical. It's also spiritual. It's a location. It's a GPS location, right? And the reason you need to know the GPS location is because when you send out a signal as to what you need, the universe needs to be able to get it back to you. That's echolocation. My son and I were talking about this today, and we were both so excited. I created a nerd. I have two kids that are nerds, so we are all nerds. So we were talking about the animals that hey Peach, that the animals that give you echolocation or that use echolocation, like dolphins and sharks and bats. And bats are blind. They get like 10 minutes of sight. They're blind, but they send out an echo so that they know what's around them, and they're waiting for that to echo back. Reverb. Everything in this world reverbs, and everything in this world has control over hearing hearing the echolocation come back. But to Cliff's question earlier, who's on Periscope, when he asked, do I believe that you have control over your life? I do. And that's what another thing I meant about we cede control to something else. We were born with all the magic in us to understand everything in this universe, but we won't take the time to sit in it to understand it. So we give that control away. So we send out a need and we send our echolocation and it comes back. But because we don't understand it or we're not taking the time to understand it, we miss it. So we miss hearing what we need to hear in order to move our lives in the direction that they need to move in. So where am I? Where am I on my spiritual GPS? When I sit down, right, and I'm looking at my goals, dreams, and aspirations, and I look at where I am, how I got here. How did I get here? If you put an address, if you pull up Google Maps or iPhone or Waze or anything right now, and you say, I want to go to 5342 Drexel in Chicago. The first thing your GPS is going to do is say, well, first of all, turn your Bluetooth on. Why? Because I need to know where you are right now. So we talk about all the time that we want to get somewhere, but we don't tell the whole story because we don't tell people where we are, but we also have to say how we got there. How did you get there? If you know how you got there, you can retrace your steps. Or if you know how you got there, then you don't want to go back that way. But in order for me to know where I want to go, I need to know how I got to where I am. That also goes back to my who. Who am I? Where am I? Once I know where I am, then I can say to my spiritual GPS, this is where I am. This is what built me. This is what made me strong. And now I need to get to the next step. And now I'm going to use all the tools that I have in my toolbox from my life that built me. And I'm going to move myself in the next direction. So who I am, where I am, and then I also have to know why I am. What is my why? What is my purpose? What is the reason I am here? What is the reason I am breathing in this world? Because if I don't know my why, then my days are aimless. Because remember, my why is my aim. My why is the underlying reason or cause that's going to get me through and to my intentions. Y'all quiet in the chat. I can see some of y'all in the chat. So if y'all have questions or need to say something, type. Let's go. Let's go. What? Hey, cuz, bye, limo. So what is my why? I know who I have to know who I am, where I am, and why I am to get somewhere, right? Why was I born? What is my purpose? What is my intention? There's a book that I wrote that I never published, and I need to do that. But it's called The Dream is Bigger Than the Moment. And if I know my why, then when these moments happen that kind of knock me off my game or knock me off my square, like we say in Chicago, then if I know my why, I can regroup. If I don't know my why, then I'm just down for the count. And a lot of times when you see people who have been abused in some way, their life is just like knocked them down and knocked them over, and it takes a long time for them to get up, it's because they haven't connected to something stronger than them. A lot of times we think that's God or spirit. I think I need some water. We think that's God or spirituality. I still can't say the word. Oh Lord. Spirituality. That's close enough. Or religion, right? But many times it's the why, because our why connects us to God, spirituality, and religion. So if I know my why, then I have the impetus to get back up. But if I don't think I have a purpose, if I don't think I have a reason, if I don't think I have an intention, then that moment is going to kick my butt. I just turned 50. I can say it. That moment going to kick my ass, y'all. But once I know my why, that's my fight. That's my fight. Oh, you can't take me down. I have a purpose. You can't take me down. I have intention. You can't take me down. I have a reason of being here. You ever go somewhere? I remember the last job that I had that they just recently released me from, with a supervisor that just really never liked me. That's his fault. But I remember once there were these meetings, the all hands meetings or whatever. And he told myself and another guy that were working there, even though the CEO said, hey, I'd love to see them there, he was like, oh, you don't have to come to these meetings. So one day they sent me the information for the meeting and I walked in the conference room and he turned around and why are you here? Sorry, I keep forgetting my thing's gonna freeze. I apologize. But he turned around and he said, why are you here? Just like that. Why are you here? And it was like, is he serious right now? Like in front of the whole conference room. Like I didn't have a right to be there. So, right? Ooh, right? So it's like when somebody says, why are you here? That is a challenge. You know, you don't tuck your tail and leave, right? You kind of answer. But here's the deal, I never answered him. I walked in there. There was some very important information that two people sitting at that table needed from me at that moment. I delivered that information. I slayed the information I delivered because they didn't expect it. They thought they were going to have to do some work. I took care of everything that they needed. You need this, X, Y, and Z. That person is waiting on your call. They've already reversed that. That person is moving in. Thank y'all so much. And then I never looked at him. I never answered his question. And then I walked out the door. 2 seconds later, I get a ping. I check my phone. It was an email from him. I apologize. It shouldn't have come out that way. First of all, it shouldn't have come out at all. Shouldn't have come out that way. I was just shocked to see you. But had I responded, right, he wouldn't have had those moments that he needed to understand that he should have never said it. I just never even acknowledged him because I know why I'm here. And I delivered that information. This is why I'm here. Why are you here? So here's what you need. Here's the information that you need. And that's how life is. Sometimes life comes to kick your butt. And the question is asking, why are you here? But it's not saying, why are you here? Because it wants you to tuck tail and run. It's saying, why are you here? So that you can say, this is why I'm here. Damn it. This is what I need to do. Here's my cause and intention. Here are my goals. And I'm going to slay them every day. And if I don't make it today, then I'm going to make it tomorrow. Von Limo, my cousin, said, some experiences we go through because God has ordained it and will increase our faith for such a time as when it's needed. That's what he believes. Some situations are preordained, right? Hey, Leonie. I'm sorry, y'all. That stuff. Okay. Some definitely are preordained. It's the strength in us. My son and I were talking today also about in biblical, if we're talking about the Bible, we're talking about the book of Job. And he was like, I just don't understand why God would let that happen. We can't even look at life. Life happens sometimes, and then people would love to say, well, that must have been intended because God let it happen. But who's the little G in your life? Who's the connection to God in your life? You. That didn't happen because some other being did that to you or orchestrated it so that it would happen to you. That happened because all the power resides in you to live your life at the highest level. And when we don't take the time to know, we celebrate our birthday, right? We go out, we party, we get drunk, we do all those things, and then we say, I had a great birthday. But we don't do the one thing we're intended to do, which is to know the why we were born. So then when things do happen, right, cousin, when things do happen, then instead of taking ownership of the fact that they happen, we want to blame it on something else. We want to put it on something else. If I keep putting things on something else, if I keep putting things on God's shoulders, if I keep putting things on the fact that that happened because it was preordained, and I'm not disputing it, yeah, it may have been preordained, but if I only put the onus on the fact that it was preordained, if I never accept or learn my why, then it's going to continue to happen. So again, Cliff asked earlier, do I believe that you have control over your life? When I cede control of things happening in my life to something else, whether that something else is a higher power or a lower energy, when I cede that control and I'm no longer taking ownership, then I don't have any control over my life. And then life just happens. Hey, Sharice, life just happens. Hey, Christina. So when life happens and I don't feel like having any control over it, then I'm just going day by day by day, right? But when I know who I am, when I know why I am, when I know my reason, my purpose, and why my existence matters, then there's very little anybody can do to stop me. The only person that can stop me is me. And think about those days when you've had those BAD days, right? Those bad days. When you refuse to acknowledge your strength and your power, the days stay exactly as they are. And then every experience after that is going to be what you just painted, bad. Because when you say you're having a bad day, then the mind seeks proof. The brain is nosy and the brain likes to be right. If I claim that it's, and I'm not going to keep saying the word, but if I claim that it's a BAD day, then that means that every experience I have after that, I'm looking to paint it to match. But as soon as I flip that and say I'm having a great day, I'll say that one. I'm having a great day. I just felt that all up in here. My energy was like, yeah, girl, we are. When I'm having a great day, then everything after that is great, right? You seen those commercials where people just skipping through the tulips, woo! They just having a great day. It's lit. Ain't nothing you can do to stop that great day. And then when something happens, they just go, "Oh, that's okay," because we're able to take it all with a grain of salt because we're having a great day, and there's very little you can do to take away my great day. Why? Because I know my why. It doesn't mean that if I know my why, nothing's going to be difficult. It just means that because I know my why, everything is solvable. I have some fight. I have a reason to pursue and persevere. I have a reason to get up off the floor. Yeah, you knocked me down. Whew, but I'm going to get up off the floor. Positive speaking to your life, and it will be absolutely. You have to speak positively and positively. I said it that time. I don't know what was wrong with my mouth today. My birthday was yesterday, y'all. My birthday was yesterday. My mouth ain't working. But if you speak positively and if you know who you are, then that causes the brain, that causes the motion in the ocean, right? You are moving yourself toward a goal. Whatever you speak, the brain seeks to make come true. So if you know your why causes all the words and all your actions to move toward the why. I know what I want. I cannot let you, me, or anybody else stop me. And I'm not going to cede control to something else that I feel could stop me at any moment. No, I have to have ownership over my life. Thank you, Cherise. My birthday was yesterday. The big 50. Is that right, 50? I can't see it on the screen. Birthday hangover. Right. Right. So when you know, and that's just really it for today. Like that's it. You have to know your why. You have to own your why. You can't just know it. You have to own it. People used to ask me a long time ago, why do you go by the moniker of the audacity expert? And the word audacity means to have a shameless boldness, to have a shameless boldness, and an arrogant disregard for what others may believe or think. To have a shame, I am shamelessly bold about who I was intended to be. And you cannot take that from me. You can't have it. If you need some of the energy until you get your own, you can borrow it, but you can't take it. You can't own it. That's mine. So I teach people to have a shameless boldness in their why. I teach people to have a shameless boldness and an arrogant. That word arrogant, people always say, well, we're not supposed to be arrogant. I disagree. Here's the difference. I'm not supposed to be arrogant in that I think I'm better than you. I'm supposed to be arrogant in that I don't consider you. That sounds bad, don't it? No, it's good. Because when it comes to my why, I don't have to consider you. And that's where the shameless boldness and the arrogant disregard comes in. It comes in my purpose and my why. and they have nothing to do with you. Now, yes, we can join forces. We may need each other to get our whys done, but I don't need to consult you to see if you think my why is possible. That's none of my business. It's none of your business what I think about your why. It's only your business if we linked up for a reason, and that is for me to offer you some information, some knowledge, or some resources to help you get to your why. Limo says, know your why and no man can master you, no matter your station in life. Absolutely. We are not supposed to bow down before anybody because we think their why is bigger. It is not my business what your why is. It's only my business if I know that I was sent to help you in it. And it is definitely not my business what you think about me, whether you think I'm possible. I am possible. I'm possible. It's not impossible. I am possible. And so when you have the audacity to believe in yourself, the audacity at any given moment to know who you are, the audacity to walk into a room and somebody says, why are you here? And to keep talking as if that person who is your supervisor never spoke. He said those words, that would have broken some other people. I turned my head and started speaking to the people I was intended to speak to as if he never spoke to me. Those words didn't matter to me. They were bouncing off. How dare you? How dare you? Why are you here? How dare you? But I'm not the audacity expert for nothing, because I have a shameless boldness in what it is I do. So I'm going to speak in this meeting whether you ask me to or not, and I'm going to deliver the information I came to deliver, because that's my intention. I was designed for a specific purpose. I have an aim that guides my actions. You tried to break me. My favorite saying from a poet. He tried to bury me, but he didn't know I was seed. He ruined my name to get them to let me go, but he don't know I'm seed. Dude, I'm buried in the ground. I grow, baby, grow. You can't stop this growth because you don't like me. You stopped the growth there, and I think that was just the universe that was preordained for me to leave at that moment because I would have stayed for too long. Thank you. God bless you on your journey. Why is a singular mindset? Why is a singular mindset? And until you realize that, you will continually be needy. No. Why is the driving mindset? Right? You have to every day. I think you should wake up in need of your goals, your plans, your actions. So yeah, being needy is not a bad thing in this particular sense. Sometimes people say, like, we have parents that don't like the word why. My kids better not ask me why. Why they can't ask you why? Why is the thing that gets you to understand who you are and what your goals are. Why it is that people are telling you that you can't do a certain thing. If you tell me I can't do it, I need to now understand everything about it so I can determine for myself if that's right. What do you mean? What do you mean I can't ask why? When you don't ask me, just like I was in the military. When I say jump, you just say how high. You don't ask why. But they also train you really well when they give you certain things. When they hand you an M16 rifle and they train you on that thing, you better ask all the questions possible. Like that. That's so conflicting, right? Because when they want to make sure you know the thing, you better ask questions if you have them. But just don't ask why if I tell you to do something. It don't go that way. Why is the mindset that we need for our dreams, purpose, and intention to happen. Because if I know my why, then I can own it. I can own my being. I can own my life. I can own my purpose and my intention, and you can't stop me. So when you walk into boardrooms and when you walk into, I was about to say bedrooms, that's a whole nother conversation. But when you walk into boardrooms and meetings and someone says, well, you're not supposed to be here, and you know your why, right? You grow by your why. Absolutely. When you walk into a room and somebody says, you're not supposed to be here, you can still deliver the information you came to deliver because you know who you are and why you are and how you are and for what purpose, for by which you are. You know, old school terms, for by which? Why are you here? I know why I'm here. Yes, right? I know why I'm here. You can't take that away from me. You want to because you don't understand me. And when you don't understand a thing and you're trying to stop the thing, you're never going to take the time to learn the thing. So you got to now just try to use power words. But what you don't realize is I'm the power source in my life. For 8 hours a day, you have paid me to borrow it, but I don't cede it. I don't cede it to you. Just like when you train in wild animals. If I step in as a lion tamer, that lion's not ceding his power to me. He's just saying, all right, you fed me today. All right. But at the end of the day, I'm still a lion, girl. Don't get it twisted. Right. And whose you are. Don't get it twisted. Because at any given moment, if this hunger that I have in life overtakes that little whip you have, I'm going to feast. Don't get it twisted. That's the, oh my God, that's the mentality we have to have in life. If at any given moment, this hunger that I have for life overrides this little $12 an hour you paying, then trust me, I'm going to eat. I'm not ceding control. I'm just letting you borrow it because you paid for 8 hours and I agreed to the terms. But at any given moment, I can take that back. I can roll that back because I can't forget who I am. A lion never forgets it's a lion. What's in you? Capital One, what's in your wallet? What's in your spiritual wallet? So that when life comes for you, or when people who are supposed to be in positions of authority over you, and they're supposed to be feeding you greatness so that you can be great for the company, but instead they're feeding you negativity and doubt and drama so that they can get rid of you, you have to know your why. You have to know what's in you. You have to know what made you. So yes, I have the audacity. I have a shameless boldness that you don't matter. Your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs on why I was created, they don't matter. So I'm not arrogant because I think I'm better than you. I don't consider you. I'm arrogant in my boldness because I know my why and I know I was created for a reason. And I know that as human beings, we like to say that, oh, well, this person can be arrogant because, yeah, they're blah, 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 but you can't be arrogant. You don't have a right to tell one person that they can be proud of who they are and another person that they can't because you're worshiping somebody and you think that that person that you worship is better than the person that you don't worship. What right do you have to try to destroy somebody's being? Right? What right do you have to try to destroy somebody's walk in purpose, goals, aims, desires? You don't have a right. So I have to be audacious in my pursuit of my goals because I know that I have people around me who want to try to take that away from me. I'm not ceding my power to you. I don't give it up. You can't have it because I know my why. I know my purpose. I know my intention. And so when those moments come that knock me off my feet, I'm not going to stay down there long. And if I do, then I hope that I have somebody who knows also my dreams, my hopes, my goals, my intentions, and they could offer me a mirror. They can come and tell me and feed life back into me and remind me of who I am so that I can see the strength of who I am in their eyes and it reflects back into me and I can get up. And if I don't, hopefully they'll pull me up. You know, when you're stuck in quicksand, you tend to get more stuckage is happening when you try to wiggle your way out. You need somebody with leverage who can offer you a stick, a pole, or something to pull you out of where you are. Told y'all, if y'all remember this a couple weeks ago, what I heard when I was in the all my stuff comes during water download. So every time I'm in the shower, I have these great revelations of life, right? And I heard a lot of times people become famous and infamous in their journeys, not just for themselves, but so that when you get to a point where when you meet them, they're ready for you, right? That's my favorite word. I made that up a long time ago, stuckage. When you're in your own form of stuckage, right? But people become who they are because they're waiting for you on the journey so that they can get you there too. And we're so busy worshiping people that we don't realize that that person was waiting for us. That's a word for somebody. They are waiting for you to know who you are so they can pull you up. Never concede your why. You give your power to that person when you do. Right. Don't concede your why. Never. You can't take away my reason for being born. You may not even like it. You don't like my attitude. Oh, well, because you don't know my life. You don't know my journey. You don't know what built me. You ever look when contractors want to go in and they want to restore a house? They first have to do what? They have to get the blueprint because they need to understand what built that house. Where are the retaining walls? Hey, Sean, where are the walls holding this thing up? Because if they knock the wrong wall down, guess what's happened? The whole house coming down, right? Hey, you have to know. Oh, sorry about your uncle. So sorry for your loss. Um, but when contractors go in, they have to know the blueprint. What is your blueprint? It's your why. What built you? Your life built you. Your why sustained you. Whether you opted into the why or not, whether you believed it or not, it sustains you and it sustained you then and it's sustaining you now. That's my blueprint. And so when people come in and they start trying to knock down walls, hey, that wall built this house. I can't give you control over that. No, no, no. Because you would tear down my whole house if I do. If I cede that to you, then I'm giving you my power. And now you control me. And now when you knock me down, I don't have anything to get me back up because I just gave it to you. How dare I? So I have to be audacious and bold enough to hold on to it, even in the face of, why are you here? What are you doing here? I'm not going to even answer you. Horse blinders. I got my blinders on. Let me do what I came in here to do. Let me not answer that energy. That energy was wrong and unnecessary. I'm going to let that energy do what it's doing and I'm going to go on about my business. Because that wasn't what I came in here for. That's not the fight I came in here for. And if I check out sometimes and I'm not properly checked into the right space, I would have given him an answer and it wouldn't have been the right answer, right? I would have lost control in a different way. So I have to maintain control. Hey, come on, Janet Jackson. Now you know I gotta take control. I gotta stay in control. How do I stay in control? My why. What does why mean? It's the cause or intention that underlines a given action or situation. When I know my why, I can set my goals and I follow my goals because my goals lead me through. My why leads me through and to my purpose. So I have to be able to ask why. When people don't allow you to ask why, those are people who need your power. They don't even know what to do with it. What are they gonna do with it? We were all born with the right amount of everything, the same amount of everything and the right amount. We all have our own power. What you gonna do with it? You take it. You don't need it. My why is my power source. Right. Learn to turn negative energy into your positive energy. Absolutely, because it's the same energy. Y'all know here. Y'all should have known. And I had a pen ready when you said that energy. Boop. It got my pen. Right. Let me make sure it's closed. My pen. Energy. He said, learn to turn negative energy into your own positive energy. Negative and power. Negative and positive are opposites. The law of polarity says that all opposites are the same energy, right? You just have to learn. You have to just use one. You can't use them both. You have to use one or the other. So if something is negative, right, then I have to flip that thing in a positive. And how do I do that? It's something as simple as just claiming it. Claiming it. When something negative happens and you say it was bad, then you just tainted everything after that. You tainted the whole day, the whole experience with that one word. So now every time you go to operate, until you change it to positive, every time you go to operate in that space, oh, I gotta go to work today. You know what I mean? How many times we get up, we don't want to go to this job, right? Oh, gotta go to work. It was starting to feel like that for me at that last job. That's why I knew God was like, we gotta get you out of here, girl. It was starting to feel like that. I was hating that job. I was hating it. I was turning into one of those people that I hate who work in social services for people who are in temporary stations of their life where they're operating a lower energy and they need us to come in and be at a higher energy to help them, right? And you got a lot of people who go to those jobs and that's not their intention. What is intention? A plan of action. It's not their plan of action. It's not their state of mind. The state of mind is this is a check. A lot of teachers do that. They go to work and they treat those kids horribly and don't teach those kids, but they collect a check. Got to say it like that, check, because that's all it is. And I was about to turn into that because I applied for another job that I did not want. When they sent me an email to ask for a meeting after my interview, I thought the meeting was going to be them offering me the job. And y'all, I hyperventilated. I had a whole nervous breakdown. I had to call a friend of mine. She said, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I think they're going to offer me the job." And I was in tears because I knew that as a single parent, I would have taken the job because I felt like I got a kid to feed. I didn't want it. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be around that energy, that supervisor. And I didn't want it. There was nothing for me to learn there anymore because they didn't want to teach me and they just wanted to like try to pull on me. And here it is. I'm trying to do all these great things for people who are in a temporary station of their life where they need me to be as strong as I could be. And I got people on the back end trying to tear me down. I didn't want it. So them letting me go, that wasn't a hardship. I speak abundance into my life every day. I didn't want that anymore, but I wouldn't have left. I wasn't strong enough to leave yet because I have a kid to feed. So universal energy had to step in and say, you have built a structure. Let's remove you from that so we can get you back into what it is you are intended to do. To Noah, what is your why? Because you no longer see this station of your life as your why. Get out now before you stay somewhere you're not supposed to stay. Before you walk into another meeting and that person says, "Why are you here?" And you answer them, but not in the way they want, child. Not in the way they want. They're not used to this. No, ma'am. No, sir. They ain't want that. I wasn't ready for that. I didn't want that either. I wanted to go out on a high note. They destroyed my reputation to get me out, but I went out on a high note because I didn't do any of the things I wanted to do. I didn't say any of the things that I wanted to say. I went out with a peace, love, and chicken grease. Thank you. I won't be back. No, no, no. But yeah. So when you know your why will save you in a lot of situations. Your why will continue to move you forward in the way that it's intended to. And you won't ever, ever, ever have to worry when you falter and you won't. And I was about to say fail, but really, you won't fail. You may have some days that you didn't meet your goal exactly, but if you know your why and you're moving yourself towards your why, then you're not failing. You are moving. You are in movement. Another thing my son and I were talking about today was when you look at energy in the cosmos and up in the higher regions of the universe, right? When you get all the way up in space, because right now we living on a rock, right? The Earth is just a ball and it's a rock in space. But they say like when you get deep, deep in space, time starts going slow. It goes slower. So one day on Earth or one day in space is like, and I'm making this up because I don't remember the exact number. So y'all, if y'all know the number, put it down there, but don't say that girl trying to say something. She don't even know. But Father Nature, hi Father Nature. But when you are in space, right? So astronauts may have one day to hour 20. And then they go deeper, right? They go even deeper. And then they have 1 day to hour 200, right? Because the deeper you get in space, the slower time is. So, and I said that to say this: never look at what you're doing and say you're not moving fast enough, you didn't go far enough, you're not doing enough. You don't know that, because time is relative. Time is not exact. We say it's exact because right here on Earth, it moves, 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. But the more you get off of this rock and go into space, time changes. It's relative to where you are. So keep moving, keep pushing forward. Don't give up, don't give in. Know your why and allow your why to guide you in a way that nothing has ever guided you before. Allow your why to push you into places and spaces and time that you would have never been before. Walk into business meetings and boardrooms and force them to know why you're there. There are people in rooms that have sat next to you and they don't even know the depth of what you offer, because they were so busy looking at surface level and only trying to keep you surface level. And they don't matter. Audacity. Have the audacity. Have the shameless boldness and an arrogant disregard for what they may think or feel, because they don't matter. I'm not audacious, bold, and arrogant in my dreams, hopes, and aspirations because I think I'm better than you. I'm audacious, bold, and arrogant in my dreams, goals, and aspirations. See what I keep saying? In my dreams, goals, and aspirations. Because I don't consider you. I consider my goals and why I'm here. That doesn't mean I don't respect you, because if I can help you in your goals, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to consider you if you try to stop me and tell me it's not possible. It's not for you to say that. It's none of my business what you think about that. Whenever you reach a crossroad in your life, universal energy will guide you if you learn how to listen to it. Absolutely. Listening means putting out that echolocation. Listening means waiting for an answer. Listening means learning universal concepts so that you can create your own wormholes to step through, right? Learning how to hear the answer when it comes back. Learning how to ask for something, pray for something that is part of your why, part of your journey, right? And then staying connected to that belief that is coming. Don't ask, and I'm gonna talk about this next week because I saw a concept in one of my books. Let me tell you, I think it was the hold on. I'm starting to make notes, y'all. So I got it in blue. Hold on. Let me tell you real quick. The will to power. We're gonna talk about that next week. But when you ask for something, you have to be in a position where you know that it's coming, that you don't cede that belief to only a higher power. Because higher power energy is not saying, ask me before you open the refrigerator. You know, you grow up in the house and your mama say, don't open my refrigerator without permission. Woo, I keep forgetting this thing gonna go off. Don't open my refrigerator without permission. Don't eat anything in my kitchen without permission. Don't leave this house without permission. Higher power energy is not saying get my permission before you live your dreams, goals, and aspirations. Higher power energy is saying I gave you the power to fulfill your purpose. Go do it. Go do it. So if I ask for something that's in relation to my dreams, goals, and aspirations, I have to hold on to the belief that it's going to happen. That means I have to stay connected to the belief, stay connected to what I asked for, knowing that it's coming. Even on my worst days, even on my hardest days, even on days when it seems like nothing is working, remember, time is relative. And you don't know how deep in the cosmos that thing is coming from. You ask for something, it may be like, oh, you ready for that step? Oh, that step was 10 steps away. Okay, I'm gonna get it to you. You just gotta be patient. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I gotta stay connected to it. And the times when I give up, it's not because I don't believe. I said this to God like one time, and my life just immediately changed, because it's not that I don't believe, right? It's not that I'm in unbelief because I don't believe and I don't know to believe. It's not that I'm in disbelief where I have disconnected from the belief. Sometimes you just get tired of believing and you just need a break. Okay. I'm still connected to the belief, but today, this that belief, I'm gonna sit it over here. I'm gonna sit that one right there, and then I'm just gonna just do nothing today. I'm gonna be aimless today. I'm gonna float in space. Sometimes that's dangerous. And I think when I said that to faith, patience, and grace, absolutely, Leonie. And when I said that to God, I was like, look, I just need an aimless day. He was like, oh, no, 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 sister, you work too hard to get here. So let me just, and then it just start, all the things I was asking for just start downloading, boom, boom, boom. And that's the energy I sit in today because I know it's true. I went to get a car and they told me that I only qualified for a car. I wanted an SUV. So you qualify for this car. It wasn't even a high level car, it's just a car. But all my conversations with God, with the universe, with my belief system, right? All of my conversations were in SUV energy. And I never disconnected from the belief. Never, ever. Didn't disconnect. So when she said to me, well, this is all you qualify for, I never talked to her again. She just kept talking, telling me why, telling me all the reasons why I didn't qualify, naming, finances and credit. They're just naming the stuff that for her purposes, why I didn't qualify. But just like when I told y'all I walked in that business meeting, and he said, why are you here? And I never answered him. I talked to everybody else with information I had to deliver. I never looked at my supervisor. I never answered him. And when I got done, I never acknowledged him. I walked out the door. Same thing with her. It's pretty much like she was like pretty much saying the same. Why are you here in this conversation? Because this is all you qualify for. I looked up at the ceiling as if I was looking up into the cosmos. And I said to the energy that I connect with, that's not what you promised me. I said it in my why. I said it with intention. I said it with anger. I said it with audacity and boldness. That's not what you promised me, because I stayed connected to this belief. So that promise has to come true. And y'all, I'm not making this up. We are magic. We are magic when we stay connected to belief. She was still talking in the negative, why it won't happen. I said, that's not what you promised me. And in the middle of her sentence, she said, how about a RAV4? And then she went, and I said, and she said, I don't know why I just said that. I did. Because I reminded my energy of the promise I was holding on to, and that I never vacillated from, and that I saw all the time. And I knew when I got to that position, when I was ready to get another one, that that's what was going to happen. And she tried to tell me no. That wasn't none of my business. That wasn't none of my business. That conversation was my business, but that wasn't my business. And then she changed it in mid-sentence. And then she was almost angry about it. And then she said, well, we could put it in the paperwork, but it's not going to get approved. Too late. Too late. The energy that guides my life took over your mouth for 5 seconds because you offered me something that wasn't on the table. And I took it. I demanded it, and I took it. I demanded it, and I got it. Right? Miss Shirley said, come on now. God said you have not because you ask not. And that ask, if you really look up what that ask means, that Hollywood dope, right? That ask is not, can I please have? That ask is demand. God said to place a demand on me. Place a demand on the energy and make that energy do what you want it to do. When you look at energy, when you do science and all of that, energy moves a certain way. When you do certain things, spiritual law, when you do certain things, mechanical law, It has to come true. If you run an experiment and you do what the experiment says to do, at the end of the experiment, you get the goods, right? This is an experiment. Every time you speak something into existence, you create it. Holy boldness, right? So she said, you don't qualify. I said, I remember the promise because I stayed connected to it. She said, I said, oh, that thing happened. So I'm not sitting here telling y'all stuff because it just sounds good. I'm sitting here because this is what I study. This is what I know. This is what I know to be true. Stand firm in your why. Stand firm in what it is you were intended to do. Right? Find people that you can connect to, whether it's for one day or every Sunday. Leonie and Miss Shirley, Leonie said, thanks, Miss Shirley. I needed that reminder, right? God said you have not because you ask not. And ask is not pretty. You don't have to go, and don't castrate yourself while you're waiting. He's not asking for you to cede power to him. He's asking for you to remember who you are. Come on, Lion King. You don't even know who you are. Remember who you are. You are a king. Remember who you are. You are a lion. Remember who you are. You are purpose. You are a purpose being who was sent here with a promise. You were sent here with a promise. And that promise is your purpose. And that promise is to create and to procreate, not just people. We don't just need to procreate people. We need to procreate situations, circumstances. We need to live our goals, dreams, and aspirations. We need to live our goals, dreams, and aspirations. What is my why? For what reason or purpose do I exist? Because once I know that, you can't take it away from me. I don't care what you say. I don't care how many meetings you try to keep me out of. You can close the door in my face if that's what you so choose to do. But it's because you recognize the greatness in me that you don't see in you. And instead of trying to take it from me, what you should have been doing was staring to see the reflection. Because greatness reflects. It doesn't take, it reflects. Right? Do not castrate yourself to anybody. You don't bend your back to anybody. Because again, as I was reminded recently, people make it to the position and station in life that they're in because they're waiting for you. They need you in position because they were put there to wait. They don't even know they're waiting for you. They're waiting. And then when you get in position, they notice you and they pull you up. But if you don't keep moving forward, if you don't know your why, if you allow people to stop you, if you allow people to taint you and tell you that you shouldn't be who you are, that you shouldn't be in the meeting, that you shouldn't walk boldly into the boardroom, then that person's waiting for you. You're not going to be there. Because you allowed somebody who was intimidated by their own greatness to intimidate you out of yours. Oh, man, listen, right? When you know your purpose, Miss Shirley said, when you're a child of God, anything is possible. And when you know your purpose, everything is possible. Because there are so many people who are who believe that they are a child of God, but they're waiting on something. That's what I'm talking about next week. Next week is going to be fire, will to power. They're waiting. They're just waiting. Well, God, if you so see fit, he ain't answering that prayer. Sorry, y'all. He ain't answering that prayer. If you so see fit, if you could just bless me. That wasn't no prayer. That was a pity moment. You don't even hear that. That don't vibrate. That's not echolocation. You're going to get something back. You're going to get something vibrated back. It's not going to be what you want. That's not what you want. That's what you tell people when they come, oh, this ain't what you want today. This ain't what you want. You want to vibrate something out. Hey, Randy, my nephew, his birthday is coming up in a couple days. He was here this weekend, so we were together yesterday on my birthday. Party, 50 years old. Hey, but yeah, echolocation. You got to send something out to get something back. You can't pray that little pity prayer and think that whoever you believe in as your higher power is responding to that. No. Higher power energy says place a demand and know it's going to come true. Have an expectation. The word expectation is a demand. If I say, Miss Shirley, I expect you to be there, really, you could take that as a threat because I just said, I expect you to be there. Even if I say, sweet girl, I expect you to be there, there's no sweetness to expect. That's a demand. That's demanding energy. Come through. Come through. Because if you don't come through, if I say I expect it and it doesn't come, right, then I have a problem. You order something from Amazon on Prime, you done paid that $125 a year, and you order it and they say it's supposed to be here tomorrow, and you don't get it for 5 days. What? Tell me you're not hot. You expected it and it didn't come and you paid for that? You on the phone. Get my money back. The same thing with, hey Terrell, it's the same thing with expected energy for a blessing. God, you sent me here for this reason, purpose, existence. I know my why. I am moving forward on the path. Things are coming toward me. Sometimes I fall, but I get back up. Why? Because I know my why. But I'm expecting you to do your part. I expect that. That's a demand. I expect that because I'm on task to do what it is you sent me here to do. Now, I know it may not come tomorrow. I know I may have some time to wait because, again, time is relative. And sometimes if you go in space, sometimes it moves a little faster. Sometimes it moves really slow. It's still coming. It's all movement. I may not get it when I say I want it. I may not get it when I need it, when I think I need it. But I know I expect it, so it has to come. So that when you're sitting in rooms and people tell you you don't qualify for that, and you look up and you go, hey, no, no, no. That was not our conversation. That is not what I expect. I stay connected to that belief. You told me if I had the faith of a mustard seed, then anything that I ask for in belief of purpose shall come true. And she said no. She said no. That's a human being. She said no. That ain't my business. The staying connected to the purpose was my business. Your move. And she said in the middle of her sentence, well, you ain't gonna get it because, well, what about this? And she couldn't believe she did that. I did. And God was like, I need you to always remember this moment because I need you to teach this to people. It happens just like that. But it's not an overnight sensation thing. It's a you held on tight and now you're demanding that it comes true. That was a demand. I placed a demand. That's not what you promised me. That ain't what you promised me. And I almost didn't do that. I almost just said, just take the car and go back. And I, girl, did you hear yourself? I hate when people say, humble yourself. Did you humble yourself? And listen, don't castrate for nobody, girl. You feel that with both hands? Yes. You right? You have to. You have to own it and feel it and know it and practice it. Start practicing. Ask for something and hold on to the belief. I don't care what your life looks like. I don't care if you don't think, I don't think that's going to come true. I don't care. Take that away and start practicing every day. Looking at what it is you need for your goals, dreams, and aspirations to come true. Now, don't go practice by asking for like somebody's husband or wife or somebody else's stuff. That's not yours. It's so much out there that you can get. We focus on the wrong things. We be trying to take stuff from other people because we don't want them to have it because we don't have it. That's not the goal. That's not the wish. That's not the dream. We're not doing that. But start looking at what it is you need and own your why. Because I promise you, when you own your why, universal energy has to send it to you because this whole thing is built on vibrational energy. So start practicing, send stuff out in the universe and then wait and let it come back. And if you feel like I'm going to share this, I don't know who needs to hear this. I hate that saying. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm going to say it. And now here I am saying it. But again, I don't know who needs to hear this. But, dang, now I forgot. It's going to come back. Dang, what was I saying? Okay. I forgot. Now I'm mad. Okay, but going back. So echolocation. Start practicing, right? And send it out into the universe. And then let it come back. I'm back on track. So that's what I was going to talk about. So Um, dang, it went away again. Okay, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back because it was good. I know it was good. That's why I'm fighting so hard to get it back. Come on, come on, come on. I demand it comes back. But echolocation. So a lot of times we don't practice. It's coming back, y'all. We don't practice what it is that we believe. We just try it one time and then it go. I was talking about vibrational energy. Thank you. Okay, so vibrational energy. Um, um, okay. So think about vibrational energy, right? When you send things out on a vibration, that vibration has to come back, right? You send something out into the universe, you're going to get something back. And what we don't do is we don't practice what that feels like. This is what I was saying. Thank you, Leon, the girl that helped me. So a lot of times when you're trying to hear certain things or trying to figure out how to feel that thing, how to Noah, how do I know echolocation? How do I practice echolocation? Sometimes you have to just get right. You ever notice in the morning, you wake up in the morning and you're a little clearer than you are the rest of the day? Once you start doing things where you start allowing your body to feed, and that's physically and mentally, right? You wake up, you eat, you stop the fasting process, you start talking to people, you stop the mental fasting process. Sometimes you just need to stay clear. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but maybe you need to practice in the morning when you first wake up and you haven't eaten anything and you're a little hungry. When you are in hungered, man, your body is no longer in control, and it's allowing the spiritual and mental parts of you to actually get in there too, right? You ever notice you're hungry, you're a little lightheaded? That's when you are most in connection with all the energy around you. Go as long as you can all day without eating. Go all day if you can. Because once you start asking for things, you can understand the location, the echolocation, and how it comes back, what you're listening for. One of my sisters gave me a birthday gift yesterday that I love. It's this bag, and on the back of the bag, so on the front of the bag, everybody knows, like I got so many gifts from the moon yesterday because I love the moon. I love moon energy. Um, but on this bag, it was like different little things like moon, the stars, and makeup. But on the very back of the bag, it said, "You're magic." Yes, yes, I am. Yes, you are. But how does that magic work? The body is an entity that is going to get what it needs. If you're hungry, your stomach will growl. If you don't eat, it's going to get tight with a growl. If you still don't eat, you're going to have a stomach ache, right? The body knows what to do. If you are a drug addict, or um, even if you're just like on prescription drugs, that body knows how to produce symptoms in order to get what it needs. It's going to get that medicine, right? It's gonna give you the worst migraine ever. It's gonna get that medicine. I grew up in a hospital. I they never thought I was gonna make it out the hospitals, like because it was bad. So I used to say I lived in the hospital. Love hospital food to this day because that's all I knew. That's what I grew up on: hospital food and Jello. I love some Jello. I digress. But I was an asthmatic and I had a lot of allergies. My body would produce asthma attacks in the weirdest situations. And what we found out later was my body was producing those asthma attacks because it wanted the medicine. It was addicted to the medicine because for years that's how they kept me alive. So it needed it, right? It was a chemical dependency in my body, which is now why I go to the doctor and they give me all these scripts and I won't take them because I had so much medicine pumped into me at a young age that it has to be bad for me to take medicine now. But I understand that we get dependent on that. The physical body gets dependent on that. When you create situations, and I'm gonna get off here, I know I've been here a while. When you create situations where the physical body has to bow down and remove itself and pull back, and it's now hungry, and then you start getting that lightheaded feeling. Now you're able to allow your body and your mind to connect to the magic of who you are and how you're connected to the universe. Because we are tripart beings for a reason: spirit, soul, and body. And the body wins most of the time because it's loud in its needs and we give in. But when you learn not to give in, when you learn to control it, that's when you can connect more. So, whoever that was for, if you don't believe it, you don't have to believe it, and that's fine. We can agree to disagree. But that was for somebody who needed to hear that. I'm convinced of that. That somebody needed to hear that. If you're trying to figure out how to understand vibrational energy, how to understand echolocation, I'm sending out these prayers. I just don't think they're coming back. they're coming back. They're always coming back. They're just coming back at a frequency that you can't hear or understand. My son taught me something today. I'm gonna tell y'all this story and then I'm gonna let y'all go. He was telling me about elephants. I love an elephant. I love the story of an elephant, but elephants are like one of the most connected creatures of universal energy, right? And he was saying that elephants communicate for like 32 hours straight, but we don't hear it because they communicate. And he's like Mr. Wild Kingdom. He used to want to be a herpetologist, like he's Mr. Animal Expert. So he was saying that, and I'm gonna look it up, but he was saying that I'm gonna answer that in a minute, Leon. So he was saying that elephants communicate with a grunt, but we don't hear them because they're a frequency we can't hear. It's just like dogs can hear whistles that we can't hear. That's at a frequency we can't hear, right? Those frequencies and vibrations are happening. That's why when bats are as blind as they are, they send out a vibration, right? Similar to echo energy, right? They send out a vibration for echo energy and it comes back. The only time you can hear those things is when you are in connection to it. So, okay, this may freak some of y'all out, but I mean, like if y'all don't know by now that I'm connected and weird, then where have you been all this time? When I'm at my most connected, I can hear past conversations. I have freaked people out because I've gone up to them and said, "Did you have a conversation last week with such and such and y'all talked about this?" And they're like, "How did you know that?" Because when I'm connected, I'm intuitive. But I can hear a whole conversation and tell you word for word what you said, and I won't even have been in the same city. And as a kid, it used to freak adults out, but then they would still come. They would come to me for stuff because they'd be like, "Yeah, you're a little witch girl," and I'm not a witch. We all can do this. We just have to understand how to connect and what we need to get our physical needs out of the way so we can connect to the bigger picture. I feel like I'm losing people. Yeah, sometimes we have to be still so we can hear, right? So we can hear. We have to be able to hear that connection that God, the universe, is trying to get back to us. And if we're only thinking about physical needs, wants, and desires, then we're usually going to miss it. So fasting and meditation, are they similar? Okay, so fasting is when you don't eat and you are removing a physical need from the body so that you can prepare the body to get into a place to listen. Meditation, you can meditate while you're eating. So I can eat and meditate. And meditation usually doesn't work for people because people don't understand that meditation doesn't mean you are absent of thought. Meditation just means that you are learning to sit and control yourself in the midst of the thought. You're never going to be absent of thought, right? But meditation is you're putting yourself in a state and space and trance so that you can hear. And that takes practice as well. But fasting is I'm going to remove food from my body or drink or whatever so that my body has to get forced to go through that hunger phase and then it will just zone itself out. And then, again, when you are really hungry, you kind of get lightheaded and you feel like you're floating. That's when your mind, that's when the other parts of your being, because we're three parts, right? Spirit, soul, body. That's when the spirit and the soul are able to like have their communication time with you. But if you don't do that, then the body will always win because it's always communicating its needs, and we're usually unconsciously feeling them. Stomach growls, let me get something to eat. Tongue dry, let me drink some real quick. Right. Because the body places a demand and it has what it needs. And in order for you to stay alive, you have to feed the needs of the body. I'm not saying don't breathe, don't drink, water, don't do any of that. I'm just saying that sometimes you have to know how to take a break. And again, you can practice just by like waking up in the morning and when you wake up tomorrow morning, like set an alarm on your phone. If you wake up at 8 o'clock every morning, then set the alarm for 8:25 and then just stop and say, oh, wait a minute. And this is before you eat or drink anything, right? And then just stop and say, wait a minute, how do I feel right now? And what am I noticing? And you'll see that there's a difference in what you're noticing when you have been fasting. Because if your last meal was at 8 o'clock at night and you don't eat again until 10 o'clock in the morning, you basically fasted from 8 to 10 because you allowed your body to go through its natural processes of elimination of waste. So a fast is really you just allowing your body time to reconnect to its other sources of energy. But you'll notice you feel different in the morning before you eat, and then you feel different afterward. And a lot of times people say, "What a lightheadedness is because you're drunk." I'm drunk. I don't even drink that much. Like I did have a drink last night, and my body has not been right all day, um, because I don't drink. But it's because you ate something. So when you eat something, you're gonna feel different than when you're not eating something, or when you drink something. I've done 7-day fast before where I didn't eat anything. I just had water for those first 2-3 days. Ooh, don't talk to me, y'all. Don't talk to me. Hard days, hard days, hard days. But I was getting somewhere. I was trying to reset my body because I have a lot of illnesses and allergies. And I was very connected. I was very connected. It was a great spiritual feeling. But those first 3 days, boy, woo, especially day number two. Day number two is the hardest. My stomach growling now, and it's like, stop talking and go eat, because it think it controls me. I'm audacious and bold, even with my body. It's gonna wait. So anyway, that was it. That's it for today. Own your why. Know your intention. Know why you were born. Know what your reason. You're for what for which by were you born? What's the purpose? And I'm going to read these definitions. The cause or intention that underlines a given action or situation, right? And this came up for me because I said last week, I said, when I talk to y'all next week, it'll be the day after my birthday. So I'm going to talk about that trip around the sun type energy. What is it like? What is a birthday signifying? What is it trying to teach us? What is it telling us? And there's that quote that says, I think it's Jim Rohn that said, you the best day is when you learn two things. Not only that you realize you were born, but understand why. And so this birthday energy was like, yes, I was born. I'm celebrating the fact that I was given, I was granted, and God blessed me with another year of life. And I hit the 50. As my son put it yesterday, you halfway to 100. Okay. Yes. Yes, I am though. Right. So I had a birthday. I can celebrate my birthday, but I'm also going to celebrate my birth in that day. Why am I born? Because that's one of the best things that I can do for my life. I have to be bold and audacious enough to understand that I was put here for a reason, season, and purpose. And most of it is doing exactly what I'm doing now, teaching power concepts and principles so that people can live their dreams in a bigger, better, and bolder way. And touching people that I'm intended to touch so that they can be who it is that they were intended to be. So I hope I did that for y'all today. I hope you guys are going to walk away and just own your why, even on your whether they're your best days or your worst days. If you own your why, if you know your why, then there is nothing that anybody in this world can do to stop you. And even if it doesn't seem like it's happening fast enough, just understand that as you move up in space, time goes slower and slower. So it's not that it's not coming. It's just not coming on a time frame that you can actually understand, because time is relative. Just hold on to it. Just hold on to it. Just don't let go of the belief that it's going to happen. Ask for it, demand it, and know that it's coming. Petition, make a petition for what it is you need, and know that it's coming. Hold on to it. Don't disconnect from it. And when they tell you why it won't happen, remind whatever you believe in, whoever you believe in, remind that higher power energy. Hey, 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 I've been holding on. I've been holding on and to this promise. You have to make it happen, because if you don't, then you're a hypocrite. And I don't believe you're a hypocrite. Right? Shirley said it happens in God's time. You just have to hold on to the belief. Hold on to it. Just hold on to it. Never disconnect from it. And you have some days where it's like you've seen like people trying to get somewhere, and then they have everything in the world coming against them to stop them, and they persevere anyway. You ever watch a linebacker trying to make his way through, a line of scrimmage? I'm about to mess this up with all these football terms, but You know, he's trying to go through, and there's like 15 bodies trying to hold him back, and he's still coming, and he moving all those bodies backward. It may not be super fast and super far, but he's still coming, right? Because he knows his purpose, his intention, his dreams, his aspirations, and his hopes. And that little wall of men, as big as they are, will not stop him. He gonna get that down. And again, he may not go far, and he's gonna have to regroup and get up, brush his shoulders off, brush the dirt off his knees, right his helmet a little bit, maybe put his mouth guard back in. He's gonna do it again. But that's how we have to be. When it comes against us, we have to push and push and push and know that it's the why that gets us there. It's the why of purpose that gets us there. So do you know your why, Instagram? Do you know your why, Power Studio? 5 Facebook pages, YouTube, Periscope. Do you know your why? Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. It was my birthday. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday. Bye, y'all. See y'all next week. Next week gonna be good. Come back next week. Come back next week. Come back next week. Woo! I can't wait. Bye. You wanna go off? Oh, because my screen, that touch screen. Lord. Ah, thank you.